Hi everyone, and welcome to another cool car here on the Car Reviews podcast with CollectorCarCanada.ca. Today we have a 1991 Alfa Romeo Spider Veloce convertible 5-speed manual. It's lot 282 on CollectorCarCanada.ca. Nice clean car, low miler, under 78,000 kilometers when it goes to new owner. Today it checks in at 77297. Again, that's kilometers, so low kilometers on this 1991 Alfa. Car is going to go certified, Ontario certified to its new owner. A huge consideration if the buyer is in Ontario. This one is lot 282 on CollectorCarCanada.ca. It's time to give it a start. We'll listen to the engine, we'll listen to the idle and exhaust, and then we'll continue on with the rest of the review. So let's give it a start. Interestingly, this car does not need the clutch to be engaged for the starter to initiate. So I've got the car here in neutral, I've got the handbrake on, I'm not going to put down the clutch pedal, and I'll just give it a start. So that's a cool start, definitely not a cold start. The car's been driven a little bit as we prepared it for photos and videos, which we've also done today. We also did some driving videos, so take a look at those on the lot 282 detailed listing. But nice easy start, just like the first of the day. And yeah, very clean car, fairly low kilometers for a 91. White over black and tan, sort of a two-tone interior. We'll get to that pretty soon. But for now, I'm going to pop the hood, and the next little while is about listening. Something I'm not very good at. So there's the hood popped. We'll change the camera angle and move on in to get a look at the engine compartment as it's running. So there's a neat look at the sharp profile of this 1991 Alfa Romeo Spider Veloce convertible 5-speed. You might notice the gap on the trunk lid. I've popped it as well because during this section of the video we'll show you the interior of the trunk. But moving in on the engine, it's a 2-liter 4-cylinder longitudinally mounted inline 4, good for a factory rating of 120 horsepower and 118 pound-feet of torque. So I'll move in on those belts and pulleys up front, and you can have a listen. All right, that's a good, I think, listen to the 2-liter inline 4. Again, good for a factory rating of 120 horsepower and 100 pound-feet of torque. Aftermarket muffler here. Let's get a listen to the idle. There's just something about an Italian exhaust. Even though it's aftermarket, it's got that certain je ne sais quoi. Unfortunately, I only know that expression in French, not in Italian. However, I think that's all we need to do in terms of having the engine running. So I'm going to cut the engine now, and we'll continue on with the exterior tour. So clamshell hood, there is a prop rod right up here, and we'll close that down. If you have a keen eye, you may have noticed there were lights on when the engine was running. That's because this car is a 1991 and a Canadian market model. So 1991, the first year of daytime running lights under Canadian law, Transport Canada regulation. So there's a good driver's quarter angle of the Alfa. It looks like I didn't close that driver's door. I'm gonna do that. So we get a good look at that gap. There we go, nice and firm. So a good look at the shine of the bright white paint. The car has been repainted under current ownership. A couple of notes along the way. Previously, the front bumper was damaged when the car rolled into the trailer hitch of a car in front of it. You'll see an estimate on the Carfax, but no amount. That's because there were no parts used. It was a repair and refinished. And as part of that repaint, the passenger side rocker had some surface rust that was repaired. Moving around the car, the tires are new within under 1,000 kilometers, even though it's a couple of years since they were installed, and the rims have been refinished. So the tires, a set of four, a square setup, so same size at all four corners, set of Goodyear Eagle RSAs. I think I saw 195/60 R15 for these Goodyear Eagle RSAs. And you can see an Alfa Romeo emblem on the center cap and 4 lugs for the 91 Alfa. Just reminded, seeing an emblem, which we'll zoom on in a little more closely, that the design of this Alfa Romeo Spider is by Pininfarina, the same design house responsible for many other Fiats and even Ferraris. So that's pretty neat. Good lineage here on this Alfa with some of its Italian brethren. Although Pininfarina's work is not limited to Italian cars. Another neat feature of this car, the vent windows functional. We had them open just to show them off, but a pretty great way to manage a bit of natural air coming in through the cabin when the top is down and the AC is not engaged. That's right, I said AC. The car is equipped with air conditioning, which we had blowing cold a little earlier through our videos. Do take a look at the detailed listing. I can't recall if I said it, but we do have some driving videos so you can hear the engine under load as well as idle in this video, and a dedicated start idle exhaust video. Good look at the driver's rear corner, Goodyear Eagle RSA. Again, we've got 195/60 R15. And there's a date code. I think I see 21. So 2021 on the date code. But again, under 1,000 kilometers on these tires. There's an some Alfa Romeo branding. And you can see there a 6-inch wide rim by 15 in diameter. Smart looking design here it is. That fuel door, you'll notice there's nothing to stick your finger into. There's a remote release inside the cabin, right by the remote release for the trunk, which, as I say, I've already engaged. We can take a look inside the trunk right now. I think all that's in place right now is a rag we used just to dust the car as we were doing photos. I'm correct. So black carpet inside, just like in the cabin. I don't know if the camera will pick this up or not, but the Alfa emblem is embossed into that vertical section of carpet. And there is a spare tire down here. It's a Continental. Steely wheel, looks to be original. And there's a good look at the trunk floor. And I don't see any signs of rust, so that's a good sign on that trunk floor. There's a look at the hinges. And as I say, the trunk is looking like a pretty clean unit. We'll close her down, and you can see that trunk fits into place just like it should. One thing I noticed about this car, there are several emblems. So here's an Alfa emblem right here on the trunk lid. Down here under the left indicator, we've got the Sport Veloce insignia. Moving across to our own plate cover, there's an Alfa Romeo script emblem over here on below the right turn signal. Back to the passenger side rear quarter panel. Look. And I'll mention that the antenna is right here. Out of the factory, it was equipped with a power antenna, and that has been replaced by a manual antenna. I had trouble getting a grip on it just there, but we did have it elevated earlier, so no need to worry about radio reception for the aftermarket Alpine deck. We'll see in a minute when we go inside the car. Good look at the refinished right rear wheel. Again, 15x6 Alfa OEM rim and a set of Goodyear Eagle RSA tires with lots of grip. You can probably see it there on the front passenger side, but under 1,000 kilometers rolled for these tires. Here's a good look at the Pininfarina badge, matching the one on the driver's side. There's one on the same spot between the rear of the door and the front of the rear wheel arch, and a good look at that repaired rocker panel. A lot of chrome touches on the exterior, sort of consistent with the day, late 90s or early 90s. You can see the chrome trim here, chrome door handles, and then chrome surround for the windshield as well. Just after this cowl venting. And color-coded mirrors on either side as well. There's a good look at the last wheel. No hints of any curb rash on these recently refinished wheels. Tire treads look really good. Just in case anyone was concerned about the rear tread, when I was showing the front, there's a look at the rear. Almost new. And a good look at the vent window over here on the passenger side. So a good look at the front. We've got the recognizable Alfa Spider round headlights with a rounded front of the clamshell hood gap opening, hinged in the front, as I say, and the familiar triangular surround of that Alfa Romeo emblem up front. So a sharp car here, white on tan and black for the 1991 Alfa Romeo Spider Veloce convertible 5-speed manual. Okay, that should do it for the exterior. Let's go take a look. So 1991 is the model year of this Alfa Romeo Spider Veloce convertible 5-speed manual. Second model year of the well-known Mazda Miata. Now, some people might confuse this with a first-generation Miata just because of the sequence in time. 91, as I say, second year of the first-generation Miata. But one look at this interior, and you can tell it's a step above. The Italians had the Japanese beaten at this time in automotive history. You can see black leather bucket seats with white contrasting stitch, both around the bolsters and through the inserts. Leather all around. And you can see a matching leather boot for the emergency brake with a wooden handle. Same theme on the shifter. Wooden handle with the black leather boot and white stitching. You see a 5-speed, and they even went to the trouble of placing or fitting an Alfa Romeo badge on the shift knob itself. So moving over to the door card, one thing you might find that's missing are the window cranks. That's because this is equipped with power windows. Now that vent window is manually operated, as you'd expect, but power windows for the larger panes in the door. There's a speaker right here and a mat pocket on the door card, and that's just the latch for the door. Good look at the instrumentation by Jaeger. I think it's Jaeger. It could be Jagger. I only read that name. Jaeger. Over on the left, we see a speedometer maxing out at 220 kilometers an hour. And you can see the odometer checking in at 77,297. So this car is going to its new owner, certainly under 78,000 kilometers. I expect it'll go to its new owner with under 78 or 77,400 kilometers. And over on the right, we have a tachometer. I see where the Orange begins around 5,600 kilometers. I think technically the red line's at 6,600 RPM. I think I might have said kilometers earlier for that RPM measurement, but 5,800 or 5,600 where the orange begins, and then 5,800 for the, 6,400 for the red line in RPM on this 8,000 RPM tachometer. The maximum 120 horsepower factory rating is achieved at 5,800 RPM. Up above, we have an oil pressure gauge, as well as a voltmeter up top, and then in the center between the two larger gauges, there's a fuel gauge on the left, and then coolant temperature to its right, both placed between the speedometer and tachometer. So moving centrally, you can see that this car's got an aftermarket Alpine AM/FM CD player and lots of vents. 3 here to blow from the blower to get air to the passengers. 2 up here for defrost. And then there are 2 round ones also on the outside edges of the cabin to get cool air to passengers, or hot air, I suppose. But I'm thinking cool air because I was impressed when I saw this little 4-cylinder 2-seat convertible was equipped with AC. I'm also impressed by the still functioning analog clock we see here. And then the HVAC controls are over here to the left of the shifter. Airbag equipped for the driver here, and the Alfa Romeo emblem in the center of the 4-spoke steering wheel. These floor mats are pretty fancy. The owner just picked these up, I guess as a new to you car gift to the new owner in preparation for the sale. So those are in place. We pulled them up for our photo session. You can see the clean black carpets underneath in our detailed listing. Again, it's lot 282 on CollectorCarCanada.ca. So you can see an Alfa Romeo designer badge in the center. There's the power window switches. On the far right there, we've got a defrost button, I think that is. I'm gonna pull out my glasses. Yeah, that's a defrost. And then the 4-ways as well. I questioned myself on the defrost because the soft top on this car is equipped with a clear vinyl window, so no glass. But I will add that the vinyl is quite clear. You can take a look at that on our detailed listing for lot 282. I also see the model number for the Alpine here, CDA 7837, should anyone want to ask Dr. Google about all of its features. We have a little crack here in the dash. It doesn't extend beyond that edge. And then the glove box is right here. Some personal items in that tonight. We're not going to open it up. And the passenger door card, looking pretty similar with that door latch. A speaker, the vent window, and then the larger pane, again, controlled by the power switches here in the console. Just noticing the spelling of quartz here. I'm guessing the Italians dropped the T in quartz. Learn something every day. You can see these rotary dials, rotary controls. So there's a manual control for seat recline, and then the fore and aft seat, there's a bar down here below the insert of the seat. We do have the parade boot in place. I don't know if we have pictures of the car without the parade boot, but it's a pretty simple process to get it put into place. So I don't know why anyone would drive around without it. The sun visors also looking quite clean. There's a mirror over there for the passenger. When I say clean, I mean good condition. Not that they're dirty. One thing I did notice though, there's a little bit, there's a rubber here on the door sill, and there's some tears in the rubber or weather stripping. Certainly though, this car has been a fair weather car. The owner would not have taken it out in the rain. So that's a good interior tour, I think, of the 1991 Alfa Romeo Spider Veloce convertible 5-speed manual. So that completes our tour of the 1991 Alfa Romeo Spider Veloce convertible 5-speed manual. Again, it's equipped with a 2-liter inline 4, factory rated at 120 horsepower, 118 pound-feet of torque. Take a look at our detailed listing. Nice light car. We've got the curb weight on there, and when you read that, you'll know that the zippy inline floor can get this car around without too much trouble at all. Again, under 78,000 kilometers on this 91 model. Sharp car. White over the black and tan, two-tone interior. Alpine aftermarket deck, power windows, air conditioning, a very well appointed car to go with that leather interior. No Miata, that's for sure. Refinished wheels and grippy, recently installed Goodyear Eagle RSA tires. I haven't mentioned all of the maintenance. There's been a lot of maintenance that's gone into this car over the last 3 years. Take a look for the details, not only the details on the detailed listing, but also work orders, sending out the work. And most of it's included on our Carfax as well. So yeah, there we are for lot 282, the 1991 Alfa Romeo Spider Veloce convertible 5-speed manual. Lot 282 on CollectorCarCanada.ca. Thank you for watching, and we're going to move on to the next car.